they specifically Porpoise said that they are looking to go 2-0 this week. They're halfway there. You actually expect them to beat Dignitas based on standing.
Yeah, they are hungry for playoffs. They do. They definitely want to get in that top half of the standings. And then anytime you are facing Dignitas, and just in the pick bans, not only is Cassidy a big deal, of course, for Shifter, but I also always think that a couple should be targeted at CoreJJ and Kiwi Kid. CoreJJ he performs so well on Sivir, and they really prioritize that champion very highly for him. And meanwhile, Kiwi Kid on the Annie, of course, very well known for those roaming plays and flash engages. I'm
glad the Cassidy ban came out, by the way. That's actually what Shifter used to beat Teammate back in week 4. He went 10-1-9 on Cassidy. So I'm glad Teammate learned some of those lessons. The Jarvan goes away from his Zingy, so Fiddlesticks is there if they want it. Judged by the fact that he ran with AP runes last game, I'm going to say he was prepared already last time.
And they didn't let him use it.
That's just scumbag Elixir.
Well, let's see. This time around, Rek'Sai for the cross-map control. That is the reaction that he was looking for.
Yep. Well, with the hover and the state he's in, that really is a Cali Trolls. Rek'Sai comes in for Porpoise overall. Sadly, playing very few aquatic junglers. Nami and Fizz not really good for the role.
Well, Rek'Sai kind of looks like a porpoise when she's swimming through the ground.
Yeah, like a land shark.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that one.
There you go.
Well, porpoises are mammals and sharks are fish, I believe.
Yeah, and you can make popsicles out of whatever you want. So what's your point?
Apparently nothing. You've won this one, Kobe. Moving on. Team Dignitas now to make their choices. You can see Melixia saying, yes, Fiddlesticks after all. Yes, that's what we're going for here.
Interesting. So Cassidy and ban, Ahri definitely a strong champion for Shifter. He has a long history on the champion. And people have not hesitated to go back to her even after the nerfs to the range and slight damage nerfs. Plus they combo it with a big pickup for Kiwi Kid that we were talking about earlier. The flash engages from Annie have always been huge. If you're wondering about what play style to go with, I don't think Shifter will have any more questions. Because flash engage Annie's follow up here from Ahri. Very, very scary pick here from Dignitas already.
Yeah, he's poised to shove the lane out, show up to lanes with crowd control. That makes the roams a lot easier to land. The damage can come through. Morgana Sivir immediately returned here, so Teammate able to pick their fights and navigate back and forth. The question remains where that Morgana goes, but we do know where Sivir's going to be.
Yes. I think that Sivir is it's so important to steal that away from CoreJJ, but also to have a shield for the first 2 picks here from Dignitas, both the Ahri as well as Annie. We've seen people, especially Wild Turtle, I think is a really good example of preemptively using Spell Shield to block things that normally you wouldn't be able to, like the Flash Tibbers. You can see Annie positioning for Flash Tibbers. If she starts to move up and she positions aggressively, then she can give away the plan.
But overall, we'll see how the mechanics and reactions end up going for Maple Street in this game. Maokai's coming in for Gamsu. Ahri, of course, we already know is going to be Shifter's champion. CoreJJ will play Ezreal, which means we are missing a jungler for a Zingy in this game. I like they left it for last. And the thing is, I want to see if Teammate go Janna here.
Interesting.
And put Morgana in a solo.
They also, since we didn't really go over the fact that LeBlanc was banned out first from Dignitas targeting Slushy.
Right.
2 of the times that they've had really big performances from Slushy has been on LeBlanc. So I'm interested to see if he goes right back to Orianna instead and have a more team fight or focus, but it doesn't look like it. Split push instead.
And Gragas, by the way, so...
Finally, we see some Cali Trolls.
Yeah!
Deep champion pool here. More interesting picks from the top lane.
So Gragas versus Maokai at top, I'm almost certain. Thing is, I know some players who play support Gragas, and it is! A Zingy gets the Fiddlesticks. You can see the smile and the head nod from Dignitas' coach.
Now, make sure you have your AP rune page.
Yeah. Oh, no.
This time.
Cradlesticks, let's go.
Make sure you have your AP rune page.
First pick.
So, anyways, it will be the top lane Gragas, though. They haven't swapped it and gone top lane Morgana. But basically, Gragas, he can match Maokai's sustain and actually has a good amount of percentage health damage. So we'll see if Cali Trolls is actually able to whittle down Gamsu because Gamsu's been such a big part of Dignitas' wins on the other side. A lot of people have been focusing that top lane. With tank-to-tank battles, though, a little bit less likely this time around.
All right, well, it's going to be a really fun game. I like how the champion picks and bans kind of set up and tried to counterpick the Fiddlesticks on both sides.
Yeah.
The Annie for the setup with the stun, but also the Gragas to knock him back, knowing it's coming in for the last champion.
There are several spots on the map that you have to ward only when playing against Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
Or Fiddlesticks and some random champions like Jarvan or Blitzcrank or something like that. But basically...
Oh! Yes!
He's not done yet? I feel like we need music for them now. We should actually let the coaches have their own theme songs. If they're going to start doing dances, we have to let them pick music.
Hopefully they all pick Silver Scrapes. That would be my ideal theme music for every team and player. Guys, the games are about to get underway, so hit us up on Twitter with either hashtag T8win or hashtag DIGwin for those dancing moves. We are at LOL Esports, and we will be counting up your votes throughout this game. Let's see if Dignitas can moonwalk their way into this game. So a battle to get out of the bottom of the standings. Team 8 can join that tie for 5th. Dignitas can try to claw their way back up. They got to do it starting now.
All right, so those spots on the map that you have to ward versus Fiddlesticks and almost no other junglers are the Tribush of the enemy AD carry and support team, because Fiddlesticks can jump over that wall and ruin the duo lane's day. Also, Wraith, what do we call it?
Raptors?
The Raptor
brush?
camp. Basically, not the brush, the actual pit.
The camp.
Okay. Because there are many ways to jump over towards the mid lane as well. So there's a lot of little nooks and crannies that Fiddlesticks requires you to have vision in if you're going to press up. And we will see if Team 8 can keep track of all of those. Because Fiddlesticks, especially Azingi, known for using his ultimate on cooldown. Got to keep track of that level 6. The other thing is that Ezreal is not necessarily the highest attack damage threat. So if you're running an AP jungle, usually you want to sort of diversify your other picks, but they've gone very AP heavy here for Dignitas. And it will be up to Core JJ to shoulder the brunt of the attack damage threat to make sure that people don't build too much early magic resist. I feel like Gragas is going to be able to have a Spirit Visage very early on, which will help him not only in his lane, but also throughout the rest of the game. Banshee's Veils will be pretty good buys as well.
Yeah. You know, there's a fun bunch of interactions I like about this. So Fiddlesticks being a counter-engage type champion, they've got a poking AD carry to try to lull teammate into them.
They also have Annie Flash Stun, who can, if you get Fiddlesticks and Annie on the same page, if Kiwi Kid and Izingi have good communication, then the Annie can lock people in place to make sure that Fiddlesticks lands in the right area. So very much can be used as engage as well.
I like the start by Dignitas, by the way. So yeah, Calitro's going to do the camp. No big deal there. He can TP back in. They've also lane swaps Maple Street's up there, but Dignitas gave shared XP to their duo lane, and Azingi, still level 1, without Smite, takes the blue buff down.
And they've taken this opportunity for Kiwi Kid to go deep inside the enemy jungle, just to make sure that teammate didn't start greedy side, so Azingi knows where his second buff is going to be coming from. That also has to trigger Gamsu. By process of elimination, they know teammate have to be swarming in to this red buff quadrant. And Gamsu's got to be a little bit more careful, taking the second camp. So he gives it up, backs off as soon as he sees the ward dropped over the other
it's
side.
healing.
Yeah, it's a hard reset. You can only soft reset 5 times after the nerf.
All right. Corvus gets 3 off of it. Azingi, with help from Kiwi Kid, who actually leeches level 2 here, will be getting that red buff.
Talked about the roam from Kiwi Kid. It's going to start very early on here. We'll see. Azingi is going with the normal start. Drain into the Crows. Dark Wind. Not going for any crazy level 2 fear gank.
No, but the team is now in the bot side if they want to press this turret down.
See if they try and cut them off away from the turret. They can press up and try to proxy here. It's going to be very difficult, though, because they don't really have anyone who can handle this minion wave. So they don't try and get inside, and teammate are able to get their defense in place, soak up the experience.
All right, Calitro's at 10 minion kills here in level 3. should be in a decent spot on the bottom side. Looks like they're actually really trying to contest this southern jungle here. A ward early over the wall for a Dragon. They know how good Fiddlesticks is at taking that.
Ah, that's actually something we forgot to point out. Zingy does that fairly often in solo queue, taking the Dragon really early on while he still has his first blue buff. You can take it at level 2, by the way, with Fiddlesticks, if you so desire, using the Smite on Gromp and then just taking blue buff and going immediately down to Dragon. Not this time around, though. They want to get the experience, clear out the enemy jungle.
Yeah, so I want to see now where the resources all get allocated. So the top lane I haven't looked at very much so far, but it's basically Sivir sitting there farming. But the lane is kind of sitting in equal footing here, so Gamsu is actually going to be able to farm pretty easily and uncontested as well. There's even a deep ward, a pink ward, just south of him in the Team 8 blue buff. So it'll even have a high chance of watching Porpoise look for a gank.
Shifter playing to the weak side.
Oh, good binding, but nothing else done.
It's a level 1 Dodo, so he gets some kudos for the binding hit, but not much damage on top of it either.
In the mid lane matchup, actually, we've sort of increasingly found that these two players were the most important individual contributors for these teams. Shifter, a couple of hard carry casted in games. Slushy has recently been the guy winning lane and turning the game around by himself for Team 8. Right now, these two are holding equal, but both being mobile assassins, I'm actually very interested in who can get out of lane and make that play first.
Well, as of right now, the ward coverage favors Team 8 along the river. This pink ward should see a Zingy coming into the river for his first gank as well. And pink ward sees him, and he sees pink ward. And he runs away in fear.
Ironic.
Terror, actually.
Yep. Although he goes at full speed, so he's not aware of his own champion's mechanics. Come on, Zingy, step up.
Is that D-board still there from when they chased off Gamsu? That was a...
no, they got to replace it.
It was a trinket ward the first time.
Yeah. And a trinket ward that time as well. Gamsu now being the one pushed under turret. Maple Street pretty unafraid. Dodo finally finds a lane to get some levels in. He's only level 2 on Morgana. To be fair, like rank 1 Black Shield's kind of enough, but it's a long road up for Soul Shackles.
Gamsu could be the first one to use his teleport as well. And down bottom, Kalichos has had an easy time with Gragas sustaining and clearing the waves.
Oh, TP stopped. But there's no one around to dive him just yet. If
yeah.
they had the roam,
they would not be able to pull off a kill here. Kiwi Kid, he's just getting a deep ward there, you can see in the lane by Krugs. Lane swap is initially pulled off here to swap back here for Team 8. For JJ and Kiwi Kid also going to answer it.
Yep. BF Sword Sivir.
BF Sword Sivir versus, you know, the trough here from Ezreal while he's got his tier. So should be able to shove this lane continuously. Now, once again, remember that spot. The tri-bush above this turret is where Team 8 have to worry about that first Fiddlesticks gank coming from. Because even though they have Morgana, who can Black Shield, Fiddlesticks popping over that wall. There you go. Beautiful ward. Can instantly get off Terrified before Morgana has a chance to react and place her Black Shield on the target.
Oh, Kiwi Kid 3. They've got a Malcast. Well, Porpoise is there for the counter gank. Kelly Trolls buys some time. And who will they go for? Looks like the answer is no one. Now, the Fiddlesticks tracker, he did give blue buff away, as we saw to Shifter. He's only 5.5 right now, so there's no Crowstorm available. And he's standing on a ward, so that's not going to work.
It's a really good ward by Dodo, and I don't think anybody from Dig was watching bottom lane while they shoved up and saw him place that ward. Even though he's obviously right next to the turret when he placed it, nobody was watching and did not signal a Zingy, so goes for that fairly predictable Fiddlesticks ult on bottom. Wastes a little bit of time, but he doesn't hesitate. Doesn't stick around for too long. Gets back to farming the jungle very quickly because Team 8 not overextending in that lane and exposing themselves. Basically, all that Team 8 have to do is keep Morgana in the brush side. And Maple Street, even if he's not able to spell shield immediately when Fiddlesticks comes over, Morgana should be able to get a shield up.
Interesting choice by CoreJJ. I don't know if he tried to steal blue buff or just wanted to clear mid for Shifter, but Shifter gets some help from Ezreal.
Yeah, some help. Well,
I guess.
He can try and pressure Slushy here under the turret. Throw out some skill shots.
He wasn't trying to recall, though, so I'm not sure why this farm got stolen, but... Ooh, wow, Slushy taking a nice Orb of Deception, though, and... You know, they're still holding equal in farm, but the health lead right now is with Shifter.
Yeah,
that's another wave away.
That's the bonus. You just spam shove your wave in. Since you have blue buff, you continue to throw out these orbs and charms under the turret to grab harass and deny CS. And the reason that he can do that, play so far up, is because they have wards on both sides of the mid lane for Dignitas. So he knows Porpoise not coming in for a gank. Plus post level 6 can spam Spirit Rush away.
So neither one looking to play all that aggressively, although now actually with Slushy getting chucked down means he does have to escape. He burned his W, so he had to flash there.
Yeah, so it was a very quick flash from Slushy because he knew that he just placed his Shadow and Shifter takes that opening. As soon as he sees Shadow go down to clear the wave, immediate ult activation to try and catch Slushy. He knew it was a little bit of a greedy play to grab the wave with his Shadow.
Yeah.
And it does end up costing him his flash, but not his life.
Well, we'll see if there's a repeat gank a little bit later on because Fiddlestick's Crowstorm, the radius is long enough that Slushy's W will not get him away from his Zingy. If they can make that mid lane gank happen, Crowstorm is plenty good on mid laners. Porpoise is going to find Gamsu, though. And the fight begins. A flash knockback from Gragas. Can he pull back Gamsu? Yes, he can. No flash left for Maokai means that will be a kill. It goes to Porpoise. First blood teammate.
Let's see what they can do it for. Zingy seems to be heading top, so it looks like just the kill. It is a first blood, though. Assisted first blood. Giant chunk of change here. Poor JJ, even without Kiwi Kid here in lane, having an easy time shoving this against Sivir with only tier.
There's just no threat on him.
Very curious how that happened. Yeah, maybe there's not that much threat, but Morgana and Sivir should be able to shove versus him.
I don't know if Maple's just not willing to spend the mana if they don't think they have the wards to push out. I mean, you don't want to be under enemy turret without wards for Fiddlestick.
Ward coverage is probably the key factor there.
So they're choosing to play under their own turret. It does give room for Dignitas. Looks like a Zingy will be saving his smite and taking the Scuttler just with auto attacks and drain.
Yeah, you almost never want to smite Crab. So you get no bonus off of it.
Yeah, it does because it's Blasting Smite. It'll stun and remove 50 armor and MR, which makes it die in like basically one drain for Fiddle, but obviously not worth it here with Dragon on the table.
Yeah.
And thanks to Dig being shoving in against Team 8, no real contest for Dragon. No one's showing up. And Zingy on Fiddlesticks will get his Team Dragon #1 right there. First blood teammate, first Dragon Dignitas.
And once again, they buy more time for Kiwi Kid to roam here. CoreJJ down bottom, playing fairly defensive. Ooh, here it comes.
All right, Zingy's going to Crowstorm. He's going to find Solution. The Fear still goes through, but wow, they trade it back. Porpoise soloed Annie, but the mid lane kill comes back all the same. In comes Cali Trolls. Explosive Cask is up. Gets a Zingy right back into the team. Porpoise to claim another with the team, and Dodo roamed up, and the Soul Shackles, and the Body Slam. 4-1 teammate.
Ooh, 3 members. So it did cost their top laner, though. This whole time, Gamsu is shoving top, by the way. Maokai is getting free farm up in the top lane and turret pressure. So teammate quickly trying to shove mid lane to answer. All right, so Kiwi Kid gets annihilated. He was sort of bait right there, drawing the mid laner over, and Zingy was trying to cut him off. But Kiwi Kid did not get, he only got 1 spell off for a stun before he went down. So went disastrous very quickly here for Dignitas.
So a big lead now for Team 8. The 6% AD and AP not going to mean too much when you're down this much in gold. And the first Crowstorm, though it turns into a kill, turns into a giant bait to the detriment of Dignitas.
Well, I think it was actually Kiwi Kid was the real bait here, because he was standing on a pink ward. He was clearing a pink ward. He's the squishy Annie. He's very underleveled because it's a lane swap Annie. And it's really dangerous for Annie to try and clear pink wards when you don't have deeper vision in the enemy jungle. So him getting jumped on there, they were accounting for the Zed, and Zingy was going to try and cut him off, and they were going to pick up the kill that way.
Yeah.
but they were not accounting for the rest of the Fog of War inside red side jungle, and Porpoise ruined Kiwi Kid's day.
Yeah, Porpoise popped out, blew up the Annie.
I like that one.
Thanks.
Very
Kiwi
simple,
Kid got turned into
very
pie.
simple, very clean.
Yep. We're good. Core to J, Kiwi Kid. Still trying to knock this down a little bit. Maple Street actually taking a good amount of poke. Wow, good plays by Core JJ.
You know what? I just realized that a lot of people won't even get the Champ Select joke because his name is just Porpoise now.
It's true.
He hasn't had pops in it for a while.
Not since he was on DBV with his twin brother, Cheesed Beluga, who's an assistant coach on this team.
All right. Anyways, Azingi was coming down for any sort of counter move from Team 8, though. Sometimes you want to use low health turrets as bait. Not this time around, though. Zingy wrapping around through the side lane brush. Doesn't find any aggressive move from Team 8. Was looking to use his Crow Storm as the counter engage. Not to be had this time around. There's a stun you're looking for.
Yeah!
Increase the
Kiwi Kid
damage
did
taken.
it. I think he smited that. Ha!
Did he now?
That was
well, he's going back to base.
All right.
If he had saved his smite, he could be rich right now because he could be doing Gromp right before going back to base.
Aw, what a hitter. Well, that's not going to happen for the guy. Cali Trolls walking back and forth, taking an unfavorable trade. And I was wondering which way he was going with Sheen, but he's going for Lichbane here. Lichbane Gragas into another Blasting Wand item afterwards.
Interesting, yeah. The criticism of the Gragas has for a long time been the late game scaling. Adding Lichbane and you sort of add this artificial scaling with another AP ratio. Don't think they'll need it for this kill.
I think they're going to be okay. Dark Binding just for fun. There's the quick kill. The ward coverage not enough for Dignitas, but now will they stay? Kiwi Kid is here. Explosive Cap does not knock back Azingi. There comes Timbers. There comes Fear. Down goes Cali Trolls. The re-engage by Dignitas does work.
Yep, there's the combo. Annie able to hold people in place for Fiddlesticks. Shifter was the ultimate active for the kill. Yeah, I think it was just using up his extra charges there. A lot burned then from Dignitas. The Fiddlesticks ultimate, Flash Annie ultimate, as well as Spirit Rush, all for the top lane counter kill, which just evens it up 1 versus 1. And though they saved top turret, because they allocated everybody to the top side, they give up bottom turret for it. So in the end, teammates still get the objective, even though it wasn't the top lane one that they were initially going for.
Yep. Portrait Day was on a recall, and a good shove by Maple realized, oh, I'm totally safe. Everyone's topside. Great, shove this the heck in. Don't gotta be afraid. And that means we're now 1-1 in turret score. 2,000 gold lead is nice for Team 8, and we'll see what now they can do with the rest of this game. As they wait for Edifix to come in. Ezreal, by the way, not too far from Trinity Force here.
That would definitely be beneficial for him. That Lichbane is already done. He spoke up from Cali Trolls, and he's actually going full ability power Gragas here. Gonna have some large burst. His range is not the best. However, he can knock back Fiddlesticks, one of the things we also did not touch on from Champion Select. Gragas, any sort of knockbacks are always strong against Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
If you're not the target of the fear. So if you are able to control vision, and he's able to stay a little bit further away so he doesn't get the initial fear, then you can knock back Fiddlesticks and it's a good counter. But it doesn't mean Fiddlesticks is useless. He can still ultimate out of Fog of War.
Yeah.
And get that fear down.
I think it's part of the reason Teammate picked up Morgana so early. I think to try to help make sure that they could Black Shield someone to maybe get a chance at getting through the Terrify. We'll see. It might have not been the pure reason, though.
Yeah. It is going to be even more difficult because the rush for the Maokai to build Righteous Glory instead of the ability power route means that they do have another form of speed of engage for Annie and Fiddlesticks to combo. Not to mention Ahri. So this Dignitas squad is looking to charge straight in to Team 8.
Yeah, so who says Fiddlesticks needs to be a counter engage champion? Just go right up the gut.
Try and
Lock them
combo
up and run fast.
all of their area of effect. Again, very magic damage heavy, so no surprise here. We see the very early Aegis of the Legion come in. Basically, if Porpoise did not first buy that after his jungle upgrade, he would have a talking to from the coach.
But thankfully he bought that, and now we'll see what else they can do with this kind of lead. Azingi looks like he's going for Zhonya second, pretty standard.
Yeah.
And it looks like Siege not really available with Shifter here on defense, and of course the threat of Zingy's Fiddlesticks as well. How well can Teammate play around the persistent threat of Fiddlesticks? I mean, everyone knows you ward against Fiddle, but Zingy's played this champion for so long, he knows all those tricks, and he knows the counterplay to it. So, and his own vision control.
And by the way, most of that, yeah, it does revolve around the ward game. Basically, Teammate have done a really good job thus far of every time they do at least give up vision, they've taken something in return, and they've taken a lot of counter kills as well. So far they're doing a really good job playing around Fiddlesticks. Zingy looking for another sort of counter engage ultimate here over one of the walls. Very important to have his sweeper, but he didn't get any wards with it that time. Really like the measured aggression from Team 8, not pressing up too far past all their ward lines. They've sprinkled so many into the red buff side jungle of Dignitas.
Yeah.
That the top side is really where they should be hovering, because Fiddlesticks loses so much effectiveness if you are wise to his whereabouts.
It seems like that's been the recent game plan from Teammate in general, is a little bit more skirmish focused, which means a lot more jungle vision and trying to pick off sort of chance fights using people like Slushy and Porpoise, and less for like the giant Malphite or Wombo combos. They've diverged from those picks a little bit here, and
especially with the
good
Zed being picked up.
Absolutely.
All right, wards on Dragon do not matter. Zingy gonna burn it down, and Porpoise does not go for the hero steal.
Solution shot of the shadow didn't mean much. Dignitas now going to own ward control of the south jungle just a little bit here.
How much damage is the Lichbane Gragas getting up there by himself as well? Not too much. It's a small chip
150
out of the turret in exchange for that dragon.
He is going towards Abyssal Scepter next. Makes a lot of sense as an AP mid with a lot of AP opponents. Top, yep. And he's saying mid, I don't know why. Calitrolls getting knocked around, but maybe he's going to stay for this turret. He's trying. He will lose a couple hundred more health on this one, but Gamsu maybe can't quite knock him down. Nice knockback means he will not take... Oh, no, he flashes for it, but I don't think he landed the damage. But Calitrolls out of mana, will walk away, and he has Dodo to save.
The team rotated up behind Cali. Because there's so much vision here from Team 8, the rest of the team has the confidence to come up through the red side jungle and support him. And a great binding from Dodo stopped the Zingy in his tracks. The mobility Fiddlesticks was threatening to get in range there. But Dodo, very nice sniper shot with the binding, stops him in his tracks.
Well played then by these guys. And Team 8 now are sitting at 3 turret kills to 1. The only outer turret still standing is, I believe, the mid lane here. Dignitas, while they have controlled dragons, is not that same win condition that we had back from 2014. So how can they play the rest of this mid game? Team 8 really not falling into these Crowstorm traps by and large. It's been 1 kill per Crowstorm only.
And often giving up several kills in response.
Yeah. Control so far good for Team 8, and they've also managed to hold down Shifter fairly well. 0, 1, and 2 on Ahri. The goal was maybe to hyper carry. Definitely make some kind of skirmishes happen. So far, mostly muted in this game.
Ezreal working up on his transformation as well. More mana on the way. 650, so he's only got 100 left to go as far as tier stacking.
25 auto attacks and spells. Roughly 4 seconds in between each one, so could get it within 2 minutes. We'll see if that happens for poor JJ.
Flash tippers is a thing to watch out for as well.
Arcane shifts forward, pulls a page from Woong's book, and gets Dodo down to 1/3 health.
Dodging several skill shots in the process. Let's see if they decide to make a move here. Teammate, they haven't? Oh, here we go. They have started with the 1-3-1 now. Zed finally down bottom. They've got the Sivir in place mid to hold that CS. And Gragas, Lichbane, right back to top. They've actually bought a buddy up here, so top lane Maokai seems to be in a bit of trouble.
Oh, Gamsu getting just focused on. He's already 0 and 2. It's about to be 0 and 3. He does not have flash. Vengeful Maelstrom will deal some damage, but a nice barrel from Calitrolls means to get the kill. The 1v1 Slushy versus Shifter easily goes Shifter's way. Thanks to some help from Kiwi Kid, so solo kills on both sides of the map.
Yeah, the riskier part of their split push goes down. That's the side where they don't have wards.
Sivir
ultimate for the chase.
He's forced to flash. I think he's there, but he's revealed. He's got to be careful. Gets the fear before Black Shield comes on. That means he's able to flash away. No knockup comes in from Porpoise, though he tried to flash for that one.
Oh, man, yeah. He hesitated because he was burrowed right there. Maybe didn't see Fiddlesticks until the last second, then turned around. Wasn't able to get the Black Shield in time for the flash to work. But Kiwi Kid is completely cut off here.
Shifter tries to buy some time. He lands the charm on a Calitrills, but it might not mean enough. Kiwi just leading the team on a wild goose chase now. The rest of Dig are trying to push down mid. Sivir is there to defend.
How long will he survive?
2, 1, gone.
Did they
Rampage for Porpoise.
Anything out?
No, Maple went mid,
action.
and top was way too pushed out. So nothing meaningfully gained from what I can tell for Dignitas.
A bit of ward control maybe back over their jungle here.
Yeah.
Zingy just ran through and killed one pink ward.
Poor JJ knocked into the wall. His flash is down. Binding hits. Deathmark means he's gonna go down. Slushy. 2-2-0.
That was just great spacing from the wall. That binding from Dodo. Just far enough away from the wall that the champion model of Ezreal cannot fit between the very wide hitbox of binding and that wall. So he covered a lot of distance with that. Nowhere for Core JJ to dodge, and they secure the kill. Preying on the flashless Ezreal.
We'll see if they can prey on Shifter now as well, but a lot of ultis are missing. He does have summoners and ults for himself. A zoning barrel on the left-hand side. And a couple cursory auto attacks, but no meaningful progress. Teammate largely unwilling to siege. It's mostly the split push. Porpoise really knocking this thing down. He's got to lock it. It's not like Kiwi Kid deals any meaningful damage here.
I've literally seen every single member of Teammate take a turn at split pushing, except for Dodo. Everyone except for the support has split pushed at one time or another. This was just a 1-3-1 with Maple up top and Porpoise down bottom. So everybody taking trying their hands at the old split push, and it's working slowly but surely, whittling down these turrets.
Well, the turrets might be getting whittled down, but Dragon, number 3, is coming up on the map in 15 seconds. Dignitas have had good control over that objective, contrasted to Teammate's turret kills. And number 3 will mean move speed for Dignitas. And this late into the game, Dragon number 1 would be nice for Teammate. We'll see if they can control it this time. Static Shiv is in for Sivir, but Ezreal has hit the big power spike. Of on a Triforce and cooldown boots.
Zhonya's not completed though. It's only 500 combined cost once you have both those components. Heartbreaking for Zingy that he hasn't been able to combine it yet. They might give up the Dragon just based off on that vision control and the lack of Fiddlestick Zhonya's.
Yeah, and it was Shifter who was forced to hold the bot lane that was already pushed in, so the minion waves really helping Teammate on top of the ward control that you mentioned. And a slow and steady progress game for Teammate so far.
Speaking of minion waves, top one is threatening that inhibitor turret.
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
Teammate are grouped up around mid. They're trying to use it to their advantage. Core JJ still flashless. But you have to get deep wards. You see these pings from Teammate, the blue pings really deep. They're looking for real deep jungle wards for a Zingy, who just cleared that one out.
He's hiding behind the wall. Somewhere he can Crow Storm from.
Can they bait a Zingy's ultimate? Here
yes,
it comes.
They can. Oh, Timbers gets blocked away. Out goes Teammate. And Crow Storm does absolutely nothing.
Can they bait it? Yes, is the answer. Beautiful bait here for Teammate. And that means they don't even have to kill anybody. All of the tools are down for Dignitas. The Flash anti-stun and the Crow Storm. Huge win, even though there is no blood.
Such good play, but hold on, there might be some blood on the top lane. Calitrills rooted and then feared and then drained on. Flashes, body slams away. He's going to stay alive for now, but it's now Gamsu who is the target. Tanky Maokai doesn't really seem to feel paid. Porpoise pops, though, gets the smite. Steals away the red buff. 4-0-3, one of the biggest performing members of Team 8 in this week.
Yeah, so once again, let's take a look at the spell shield. Oh my goodness, wow.
That was blind, right? He just capped the wall.
So he didn't have a ward in that bush. However, Zingy just cleared out the ward that was leading up to that bush. So he knew Zingy was on that side of the map, and it was a good guess.
Well, this is a pretty good attempt to Shifter. Forced to zone his way. Now Core JJ, the target, takes so much AoE, and they trade back onto Shifter as well. A 2-for-0, and Team 8 look poised to take so much now.
Yeah, playing around the Fiddlesticks really well. Now just collapsing in mid. Beautiful catch here from teammate. Should earn them secondary turret.
There's a minion wave. Maple Street's there with plenty of items. No magic mantle on him just in case Crowstorm does get in here, but it's going to be the turret death. Giant wave top lane will be answered late, but Slushy's heading to that one. Eastern jungle looks like the vision target, and in fact, it might be Dignitas falling into a trap if they're not careful. Looks like teammate not willing to stick around too much.
Yep. Very rough for Team Dignitas to come back, but a kill on the Kali Trolls, get them on the right path.
He's on the wrong side of this map, pops the W to heal himself maybe a little bit here. Nice snipe.
Kiwi
they want to give Zingy the kill. Oh no! Oh, that was closer than it needed to be.
If he could have got his Lichbane attack off, that would have been a dead sticks.
Very neatly destroyed a Zingy, but not the case. He bought a lot of time for the bot lane, though. That's a nice... Oh, no, the binding was predictive. He didn't know the Noggin was coming in, so it's going to be Shifter living. But bot lane tier 2 died all the same.
I was going to say that is such a clutch combo.
Oh, yeah.
But not to be. Didn't expect Porpoise to flash in for it either, it looks like. And Dodo went a little bit wide, trying to follow Shifter's path into his base. It's okay, though. Not that big of a deal for teammate. They are securely in the lead.
Absolutely.
And they should be able to keep up plenty of vision to continue baiting in the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, they got their first dragon this time around, so they stopped Dig from getting the move speed. Gamsu whiffed the ward over the wall. And it's now 6 turret kills, so all of that second tier, that inner row, is gone. Which means the next set of push is harder. It's almost impossible to keep wards inside the enemy base. They can defensively pink ward those without too much effort. So spotting a Zingy, going to be hard. Setting up Baron, definitely possible. Look at all these blue dots in that north jungle. That's Baron setup wards right there. And I think it's going to be very hard for Dignitas to really see where they're going if teammate want a dragon.
Yeah.
Or Baron, I should say.
And right now, they're sort of out of position. The split push from teammate is doing work. They've got 2 waves coming in, and Dignitas are stuck in their red buff side jungle. Team 8 pressuring around Baron now. They should be able to clear out vision and establish their own true sight because of the split push threat that Slushy's been able to create. Also, Porpoise has demolished a Zingy in jungle farm in this entire 30-minute stretch here. Hard farming with that Rek'Sai, jumping across the map. With pretty much all of his Zingy's ultimates foiled in one way or another. Pretty good answer here from Team 8.
And it's unfortunate that Dig have not been able to find aggressive moves of their own. They've always been the one getting jumped on, dictated to. You can see they pop Gamsu, they run away as Zingy is forced to Crowstorm, basically nothing. And then, okay, great, we can re-engage. Fear Porpoise, put the silence on, actually buys a lot of time, and he does re-engage. In comes Dignitas, but the counter-engage. Over and over, back and forth. Porpoise looks for a little bit more. They've dropped down Annie. They've dropped down Gamsu. Zingy's going to be the 3rd casualty as well. Core JJ forced to run. That whole fight was without the mid laners, but the 4v4 easily went teammates' way, and they own mid lane.
Oh, yeah. Sivir ultimates, just another annoyance for Fiddlesticks. Can't even get close to the team. Black Shield was already on the main target, plus the extra speed boost means there was no chance for a Zingy. And should mean the Baron.
Porpoise sweeps away the wards, the team's coming in. And in comes now the first concerted Baron attempt for teammate. However, their tanks are low. Kalichos needs to absorb these attacks to keep Porpoise alive. As ult comes by, shouldn't kill Porpoise.
Porpoise is low.
No. Goes off to the side. Good moves there. 2,000 health. And, oh, healed for a second. There's the smite. There's the kill. No, actually, no smite. Take it back. He doesn't eat that one. And blue team has secured Baron Nashor 33 minutes in.
Well, this was just a pick inside that jungle where teammate have been spending a lot of money on wards. And because of all that money they spent on wards, really easy for them to back off. Black Shield's up in time. Sivir ultimate is down. Good attempt at the counter gauge.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the damage not there. Shifter's not there either. Core JJ on Ezreal right now, even with the 2 main items. He's not enough to take anyone down by himself.
Nope. Kali Trolls with that Lich Bane, Gragas, Body Slam, Flash autoed, and Kiwi Kid died real fast.
And he has Distortion Boots that he's actually had for quite a while here. Yeah. Saw it about 10 minutes ago for Kali Trolls on that Gragas.
The base cooldown on teleport is 240. Same for flash, so they're only 4-minute cooldowns now.
Yeah, and a lot of it is that he also gets to use that flash, so he can make those backline plays. Gragas can't just rely on his barrel combos anymore after the rework. Gets a large portion of his damage from getting in for his Lichbane empowered, W empowered auto attack. And we're about to see it. Never mind.
He needed a taunt more.
Just pop the barrel.
Take a page from Slushy's book, but clean and secure. Takes him down. And now with a 10-kill lead, teammate 13,000 up. Look for the bottom inhibitor, their first of the game. Slowly but surely, Maple Street is looking to knock that one down. Minions helping as well, and Dignitas have just not found their way in. Without Kibikid, the dedicated engage isn't there. Thanks to Cali Trolls, he is dead. Down goes the inhibitor well before Kibikid respawns, and teammates still under no threat. Kid switch to the mid lane. Baron buff still on for 1 minute here, as they can set up another wave.
All right, let's see. One inhibitor down. Split push still viable. They only sent Kali back. However, he did use his teleport. Oh, yeah. In that last one. So won't be able to return quickly enough. Let's see what they want to do inside this red side jungle, though. They're sort of daring Dignitas to come into the fog of war once again.
Let's see if that does actually happen. No really neutral objectives to kill. For a very long time, Dragon died somewhat recently on top of that Baron, so.
Crowd trying to rally.
Stylish farming from Slushy, knocking things down with shurikens, but he recalls, so he's done being stylish.
Shurikens are one of the most stylish weapons, I have to say. Right up there with nunchucks. Ooh. Two of the most difficult to master. Have you mastered any weapons in your time, Freak?
My razor sharp wit. The pen is mightier than the sword, although in my case it gets to the keyboard.
The keyboard. It definitely is true in League of Legends.
Yeah.
The keyboard is way, way mightier.
My micro is deadly.
All right, well, it looks like the patience for teammate paying off. They've been able to push up all their waves. Super Minions doing the job for them bottom. Grab that mid as well, and grouped accordingly. Now that all that's left is the final push here. Split mid and top. They've got deep wards inside the wall to see a Zingy. Good pink there, but they've already been shoved off the turret.
Oh, the flash engage onto a Zingy, forcing him to flash out. Pop the Zonians to dodge explosive cast, but by the way, a Zingy, you are still dead. Porpoise gets his 7th kill of the game. The team fight starts, and Sivir does drop, but will it be enough for Dignitas? They're trying to get some kills in, but 2 more casualties fall through. A double kill for Porpoise. Gamsu's gonna fall as well. Only Shifter is alive, and only 1 death for teammate means another inhibitor goes down. And now with minions in the base, this could be the game-winning push. Nice Black Shield stops the charm. And here we go. Auto attacks come on in. Shifter could not possibly clear this entire team by himself. The barrels from Cali, the shurikens, stylish from Slushy. But it's going to be enough. Teammate are going to end the week 2-0. Their first of the season, I believe. Putting them back into that gigantic tie for 5th place as they hold on to their dreams of a playoff spot.
Maple Street likes to air out his feet when he plays League of Legends.
Absolutely.
It's more comfortable this way.
So teammate improved to 6-6. They went 2-0 this week. They took down Impulse. They took down Dignitas. This week started with both those teams at identical positions, but now it's 6-6 versus 4-8. Dignitas now falling behind in the playoff race. There are 6 games left this split until playoffs.
For all teams.
Diggs got 2 games to make up to have a chance at playoffs. Teammate right in the middle of it to at least get in there.
Dignitas definitely have their work cut out for them. Continually looking for that magical jungle that's going to fix their problems.
Yeah. Well, Zingy's scoreline did look better than last game, 1-3-2. He had some decent-looking Crow Storms, but Team 8 were always ready for it. You said they played patiently.
Cali Trolls,
the case.
my goodness. Still got to call
man.
out that play with the blind Gragas ultimate.
Yeah.
Even though he knew Azinga was there.
He's like, he would ult here.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Toss it out.
Definitely a necessary ult from that Gragas.
And Porpoise Pops, a player I don't think we've talked about enough yet. He didn't die this week. He went 2-0-13 on Rek'Sai, 8-0-8 this game. Probably the most underappreciated jungler in the North American LCS. With performances like that, I have nothing but nice things to say about him right now. The Rek'Sai play this week was great. We're starting to see who the true carries are of Team 8, and right now, jungle and mid laners seem to be pulling the most weight for these guys.
And with that point, you know, Cali Troll is actually, I think this is one of his best games that we've seen from him.
Definitely.
A long time, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he finally started pulling out, like, he's had Aurelia banned against him almost in perpetuity now. They're not letting him get those individual playmakers. So he's like, well, fine, screw that. Back to Fizz yesterday, AP Gragas this game. He's getting out of lane successfully. He's actually getting into team fights pretty well. Maybe we're seeing that champion pool finally show up, finally that innovation does come through for Cali Trolls. And yes, you're right. In a game like this, he performs well. 7-2-7 that game, of course, plenty strong. So 2-0 week for Team 8. Maybe they finally found that sauce that gets them going. We'll see next week. But for now, we're going to hand it down to Riv, who's on the blue side.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Maple Street of the victorious Team 8. And he starts off by saying, you shouldn't have interviewed me. I had a bad game, but you had an awesome week, man, going crazy. The intensity was up. When things like this are happening, when you're throwing your shoes around, do you play better? Do you feel like you can make more plays going in, more confidence?
Well, at home I practice without my shoes on, of course, since I'm indoors. So I just keep my shoes off because that's how I practice, and it might increase my skill by about 2%.
Well, there you go. Shoes off, and you might be getting some more wins in solo queue. Coming into this game, you know, a lot of the top laners are showing more picks. Cali Trolls went on to Gragas this time. Now, my question for you guys is, a lot of teams that are coming into the LCS will focus on what Korea's doing, what other top-tier teams are doing around the regions. Why do you guys keep kind of going with your own style and doing what Team 8 thinks is right?
Well, we all trust each other, and we all play a lot of solo queue. You always find us playing the game. So we find out like different things work out, and in that instance we had a Zed mid, and we didn't want to go too crazy with all the AD. So we had Gragas, who happens to do a lot of AP damage, and Kelly did great this game. He did tons of damage everywhere, and yeah.
Absolutely. One of the final questions, how are you guys feeling about the split now? Getting some wins in here, a 2-0 on this week. What are you guys thinking about the top teams? Can you take them on now?
Hopefully. Like, we've had a pretty bad track record against the really top teams. We had the 2-0 this week because every single team we face from now on is above us in standings. Since we already played 2 games against Impulse, Coast, and Dignitas, it's a really stacked lineup. So I'm really glad we got the 2-0 this week. It was 100% necessary. And hopefully we can do well against TSM again and the other teams up there.
Absolutely. And, you know, questions about Team Solo Mid. Let's stick with that. Looking at those teams at the top, what are you most afraid of?
I'm afraid of Elimination support. He might play anything. He might play Veigar. Maybe he'll pop out like Brand or something. It's really scary. Doublelift outplay me pretty hard the first time around, so there's a lot of bot lanes I don't have very much practice against, and I respect them greatly because they're very good. So hopefully we can outplay that when the time comes.
All right, well, Team 8 and you guys are putting your mark on the split as we come into the second half of it here. So we are going to throw it down to the analyst desk to break down the rest of that game. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, Riv. And with that game, Maple just mentioned Cali Trolls coming up big. 21K damage. The next highest on the team, 13K by Rek'Sai to champions. Yeah. So, I mean, out of the top lane with a Gragas, that's an enormous amount of damage and pressure that he was putting on the map.
Very rare, too, because those damage dealt to champion stats, so much of that damage ends up coming in lane, and then as you transition to team fights, it's usually like AD carry focused. You almost never see a top lane at the top, let alone by that much.
Yeah, and I absolutely love this game from Cali, and the pick ban from Team 8 was really good. They saw the Fiddlesticks coming. That was the big thing here, is they set up their comp to deal with that, and they let Cali do Cali things. They were talking about like not looking at Korea, not looking at other regions. They need to do teammate things more often because Cali is only lost when he's playing tanks, and he's had one game where he's lost on Aurelia.
Yep.
That's it. When he's playing something that's carrying, he carries.
Let's touch on that a little bit more. Champion select, the compositions as they played out against each other. You said they predicted the Fiddlesticks pick. So it's great that Dignitas was trying to get a Zingy onto a comfortable champion, but you're picking a Fiddlesticks into an explosive casket that's going to knock him away, the tremor sense that's going to let you know where he is so he can't come over walls onto you. I mean, they had so many tools to deal with the Fiddlesticks, and we saw it manifest in very few successful ultimates.
Yeah, I don't remember. He got a few kills. One, I think.
There's
You
no
got to
team
kill.
chat.
You got to kill early.
The team itself, they predicted the Fiddlesticks. So why pick the Fiddlesticks? Like, they needed to move away from it. Gragas, Morgana, Sivir, even Zed. Like, everything could avoid that Fiddlesticks. I feel bad for Zingy on his first week of the LCS. I mean, that is a pretty rough first week. Not having the right runes in game one, and then being on your big champion that everyone is expecting you on. It's like, oh man, Zingy's Fiddlesticks, into one of the worst situations.
Yeah.
Everyone was expecting him on it, though, including teammate.
Well, and that's the thing. We have to give them credit for doing their homework and preparing a team composition that was tailored specifically to counter Dignitas and their new jungler.
Absolutely.
What they also did well, I felt, was the fact that they put a lot of focus into that top lane. Calitrolls played very well on his own, but on top of that, we have recognized Gamsu as being one of the stronger points on Team Dignitas, and they put a lot of focus there with the Rek'Sai into the top lane trying to keep him down.
I'm glad we're talking about Porpoise because this guy's gone a little bit under the radar here. He's 10-0 and 21 this weekend. He didn't die. He's basically pulling a Santorin from a couple weeks ago, being a very supportive role, but Team 8 has so many carries on it, like Cali Trolls. Sometimes you have Slushy who can pick up the slack, but the fact that Porpoise Pops is able to set those people up from the get-go is his biggest strength.
I agree. His Rek'Sai, this, you said, deathless, mainly because he was enabling Cali Trolls as well. Those two working together, once again, is something they're going to have to do next week when they face the top competition, Team Liquid and Team Solo Mid.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see if they can kind of roll that momentum forward into the coming weeks. Well, with 3 weeks left in the split, let's see how the teams are lined up. In first place, it's Team Solo Mid, followed just one game back by Cloud9 and CLG, who are now sharing second. In fourth, it's Team Liquid, followed by Gravity, Team 8, and Impulse tied for fifth. Then in 8th place, it's Winter Fox. Team Dignitas is in 9th, and Coast is in last. And, of course, with thoughtful deliberation, that gave way to a heated argument and was finally resolved in an arm wrestling match. We landed on the 5 players who impressed us the most this week. OP in the top lane is Team Liquid's Quas.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was an absolute monster. Outside of just picking a different champion in 9 consecutive games, his quadra kill on Kennen, followed by his amazing team fighting in the CLG game. He's a jack of all trades that also excels in several of those trades, which is the ideal thing as a coach for a top laner.
Impressive, to say the least. King of the jungle this week is Teammates Porpoise.
Porpoise Pops has really gone under the radar, like I said. 10-0 and 21, a 31 KDA this weekend. His presence has just stepped up to a whole new level, and he gets their carries rolling, even if he's not the one carrying the late game.
May not be getting Rek'Sai too often anymore. Master of the mid lane, we've got Cloud9's High.
Yeah, and this one, honestly, you can knock him for only playing Zed, but you can't knock him for how well he plays on Zed. Both of those games, he had a significant impact in Cloud9's victory and will be warranting Zed bans in the future.
Yeah, moving on to our 80 carry, we have Keith.
This guy came out of nowhere. He's 5-1 on Liquid. He has 7.3 average kills per game. He is #1 in average kills per game at the moment, ahead of Bjergsen and Link. This guy is a huge part of their victories over both CLG and TSM. Hashtag keep Keith.
Yep, fantastic to see him stepping into that role fully. And finally, our OP support is Afromoo.
Yeah, this is actually our only guy on the OP list who didn't have a 2-0 week, and that's just because how well he played individually. The first game he played on Thresh, making play after play, and then this second game he had against Team Liquid was the only one making big plays because he had to. He was the only playmaker on that team. Exceptional performance once again from Afro.
You see it there too, that 90% kill participation in 2 games, fantastic stat there. And taking center stage is this week's MVP from Team Liquid, it's Quas. He has been coming up huge at every stage of the game and is carrying his team, all while playing 9 different champions in their last 9 games. And with the help of Quas's strong performances, Team Liquid are on a hot streak, taking down our top 2 teams as they climb up the standings.
Yeah, Quas, it's nice that he's getting this recognition now that Dominate is putting more and more attention into Quas's lane, as well when they're swapping out Piglet for Keith. Quas has been the rock for so long, and now that they're giving him a little bit more of the lion's share of team focus, not just always putting him in the lane swap, we're getting to see how much work this guy's put in and how good he's become.
He's been a rock forever, but now he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's absolutely just taking over games.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see the consistency that he's always had, but now he's even embellishing on that, branching out, being the carry that we love to see. Well, that is our show for today, but be sure to tune in next Wednesday for the European and North American Challenger Series. Then stay current on all the league news from around the world with a brand spanking new PTL. And the European LCS is going to return on Thursday with Meet Your Makers versus Giants Gaming. After that, it's H2K facing off against Gambit. And a bit later, it's the European El Clasico with SK Gaming versus Fnatic in a battle for first place. Then on Saturday, the North American LCS will be hitting your streams, starting with Team Dignitas versus Coast, followed by Gravity versus Counterlogic Gaming. That coverage will begin at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European time. Now, for myself, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and good night.
Quas.
Gravity, they've been holding in the middle of the standings for the bulk of the split and are still trying to separate themselves from the pack. Sheep goes in for a hit. Bunny Foo Foo goes down. Impaler, he's going to be shredded as well. And Concert just gets out alive. The skin of his teeth. It's going to be Gravity taking down Coast. Avalon's going to be doing his damnedest to take down Sneaky, but he scoots just to the left. Avalon flashes over the wall. Cloud9 takes down Winter Fox. He goes down. Caston and Xiao is on the ground as well. They're going to be able to pick up a kill on the impact. Wild Turtle could go down, and he gets ignited immediately. How does he keep going down first? Team Impulse takes down Team Solo Mid.
Darius with the house on fire. Look at that in the crowd.
Oh my god. If you guys nervous, I can perform some debugs to you.
Okay, wait, do it.
I learned it yesterday, do it. Boots, pats.
With the ulti, it's a trade run back onto him and will do so. A lot of casualties on both sides. Quas jumps on by Doublin. 4 kills to 4 this game. Keith trades one back.
It's going for it. Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, nice. I got him. We get in. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Team Liquid, have they really broken the curse?
Blitzbreak or something like that. But basically,
Oh! Yes!
not yet.
In comes Dignitas, but the counter engage. Over and over, back and forth. Corpus looks for a little bit more. They've dropped down Annie. They've dropped down Gamsu. I think it's going to be the 3rd casualty as well. Teammate are going to end the week 2-0.